Hey guys, I'm Dr. Joe Rangel, the bodybuilding PhD. I'm a retired cop, research psychologist specializing in trauma, resilience, and men's mental health. And here is why you don't trauma dump on your feminine partner. I got a great question from somebody who I had given the advice to not trauma dump or not over emotional share to their feminine partner. And he was like, well, didn't you tell us in a video a little while ago that as men, we need to actually acknowledge those negative emotions and not hide them and not bury them? And you're absolutely right, I did. If you recall the first videos that I did, they were talking about the 3 pillars of masculinity, and one of those is to provide safety for the feminine. And one of the aspects you provide safety in is emotions. You have to provide a safe place for the feminine to express its wild, mercurial emotions without getting reactive, without getting upset, without getting over logical or trying to fix things. Just a place where you're actually listening and providing a safe space for those emotions to be expressed, and then you can work on reeling those emotions back down and dealing with whatever the actual problem may be. And those videos were very well received. What's interesting is men have often been taught that means burying your emotions, hiding your emotions, and pouring whiskey over the top of your emotions. And I suggested that you guys don't do that, because that leads to reactivity. And reactivity is the one thing that will absolutely destroy your pursuit of developing a strong masculine core in the masculine-feminine dichotomy. So what do I mean here? Well, if you're busy trauma dumping or emotion dumping on your partner, basically acting feminine, then she doesn't have the place where she can trauma dump and emotion dump on you, which is what she needs to be able to do for you to provide that emotional security. Okay? So what do? Well, I told you, we want to acknowledge our negative emotions. We want to acknowledge our anger. We want to acknowledge our fear. We want to acknowledge our guilt and shame. And what did I tell you to do? I told you to find other men whose opinion you respect and trust, who you can share this stuff with, right? I told you that do it in therapy, do it with other men in men's groups. And I even told you, if you're absolutely alone in the world, freaking reach out to me and I'll be happy to listen to you, right? What I did not say was make your feminine partner into your mommy, because that is the last thing she wants to do. Because once you do that, then your ability to lead, provide security, and respond overreact is automatically diminished. I'll give you a great example. And this comes from a 90s sitcom, and I'm not in any way saying we should base our psychology off 90s sitcoms, but it's a good illustrative example. So in Friends, in the 90s, Bruce Willis had a reoccurring character. And he played Bruce Willis, strong, tough, silent guy, possibly dangerous. And Jennifer Aniston's character, Rachel, had a relationship with him. And she talked about how amazing it was to her girlfriends, except that she just couldn't get him to open up emotionally. And so she goes on a mission to get him to open up emotionally, and the dam breaks, and it cuts to a scene of him in bed next to her, crying, talking about something that happened to him when he was a kid. It wasn't serious trauma. It was something done for laughs, right? But that over-emotional trauma dumping that she brought out of him basically made her not want to be with him anymore. Is it fair? No. Is it the way things should be? Probably not, but it is the way things are. Okay. Now, different feminine persons have experience this differently. You can share more with some than you can with others. So you need to gauge that on your own personal relationship level. But at any rate, going overboard and sharing too much is a sure way to kill your masculine core with your feminine partner. So what does that mean? Well, that means when you acknowledge these emotions and you experience them, you do the stuff that we've talked about to mitigate and manage them on your own if you can. And if you can't, you do the other thing we suggested, which is find somebody else to talk to. I'm not saying you shouldn't share with her. I mean, god dang, if you lose a loved one or something horrible happens to you, you of course should share with your partner. You of course should share and talk. But I'm talking about the daily, constant, needy, emotional trauma dumping that some guys do, where they basically turn their wife, their girlfriend, or other feminine partner into their mommy. Okay? And trust me, she doesn't want that. All right, guys. Leave a question, leave a comment, leave a concern. I'm sure some of you disagree with me. That's fine. As long as you stay respectful, I'll be happy to talk. And if you're not, I'll just ignore you. Okay. I'm Dr. Joe Rangel, the bodybuilding PhD. Guys, stay unbreakable. I love you.